Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Kelly with the Garden Club of Alexandria, and I'm going to talk to you today about the parallel design coming up for our next meetings. In your handbook, the arrangement is parallel, and it is focusing on the principle of rhythm and the element of design. The definition of a parallel arrangement is a design having 3 or more units of strong parallel lines with open or otherwise negative space in between each unit. The units may be the same or varying lengths with clear, dominant, directional thrust. They may be horizontal, vertical, or oblique. The compositions of each of the 3 or more units making up the design can be any of 4 different combinations. They can all have different plant materials, none repeating in each unit. All units could have the same type of repeating plant material. Each unit can have a single plant material, unlike the other units, or one plant material can be repeated in each unit combined with other plant materials as connection. The design must appear as one composition, even though it's 3 or more different units. It's got to be cohesive in its visual effect as one design. The components may be placed at the base of the design to connect the 3 or more units and to achieve visual weight at the base as well as balance. And the connective material at the base also should unify the design. I want to show you a couple of pictures before we start. This is single units. It's a different plant material in each unit. And there are 8 different units. And then they have connecting material at the base that mimics color and creates texture at the bottom. This is one that has 3 similar units, same type of plant material, but they've used various heights to give it the movement. And this one has used sunflowers, yellow, and the deep tone. I don't know if they're called chocolate or not, but the dark sunflower. And then they have taken one sunflower and taken off all the petals to relate back to the other 2 sunflowers. And then this is a dahlia that mimics the color of the other sunflower. And then they've used a more deeper golden yellow at the bottom to kind of balance off the weight, the visual weight, and then also connect it through the deep colors, repeating the colors in the units, but pairing them with an opposite color, so the color gives you the movement throughout the design. So I'm going to use, mine's going to be more naturalistic as opposed to a creative design. It's going to be more contemporary, where contemporary designs can go anywhere on the scale from naturalistic to abstract. Mine's going to be a naturalistic, more of a garden type of look, but you can go as abstract as you want on something like this. And several, if you look on the GCV website, in the photos, several of the, this is a great class to have at the daffodil show, because you can use minimal daffodils and you can place them just so they don't have to, so they can show up all by themselves as opposed to in a mass arrangement. And there's several examples on there that of arrangements that have been very creative, very minimal plant material. It's basically just beautiful daffodil blooms on some sort of structure or sculpture. So check out the photos. You can get as creative as you want. And I am going to use, I just got a bunch of various flowers from Costco that I'm going to use for this. And I'm going to try to balance color. And I'm going to put the deeper tones over on the right side. And I have pin cushions, frogs, basically all over the bottom of this. Low containers are easier to work with, then you don't have to do as much plant material towards the bottom. And I'm just going to layer these in here. And I'm going to use the ones that cut off towards the bottom, probably balancing on the other side. I have one lily that I got in the bunch, and that's going to go in the center. The sticks, it took me, I did the sticks first because it really had to play around with finding, sticks that I thought gave me enough interest at the top. This is the boldest column with the most interest at the top. And then I have a shorter one in the middle. And we'll have to see if that holds up enough to the lily. I may have to move that one and put something a little bolder on that one. What you've got to do is you've got to maintain negative space in between these. The twigs at the top kind of coming into each other is okay, but it's very important to maintain negative space here, which I think I need to cut that one off to give more negative space, because as this lily opens, I've got to make sure it doesn't impede on the, and anytime you don't like something on the plant material, you don't like the look of it, In fact, I'm going to take off all these leaves. I think they just muddy up. And I like the fact that some of these are looking out, they're looking in different directions, which give you some interest and again, some more movement. And then on the far side here, I'm going to go with, this one's leaning forward a little more than the others, so and I don't want it quite as tall as this height. So I'm going to cut off a little bit there. Again, I've got to be very careful to leave negative space here. That lily is a little large for that center, so we'll have to be very careful with the placement of these. I'm going to place that off to that side to maintain my negative space here. And again, I'm going to use that one towards the bottom to bring them all together. And I have some dianthus here that I'm going to bring some more bold color towards the bottom here. Keeping it off to the left. That will help me maintain the space better. And again, especially in creative designs and in contemporary designs to some degree, you really have to edit your plant material to make sure that it fits with what you're trying to achieve. I thought these were reminiscent of pearls, so I want to incorporate that. And I think that's going to be it for my 3 units. I'm thinking I might need a little more strength on that back twig, but I don't know what that's going to be. I don't think that's holding up quite as much as I need it to. So we're gonna head one a little higher. Comes up a little more. And then I'm gonna start filling in at the bottom. Again, I really want texture here at the bottom. So and I want the color to come throughout. And I like to balance this color with just a little bit over here to move your eye through the design. And I'm going to tuck that in there with some texture around that. I like using green to give the eye a place to rest before it goes on to the next color, if it's needed. And I like that you got the same color here, but it gives you, go from one texture to another. And the fact that we have a little bit of green on the end here also helps your eye rest before it moves along there. And this is also gonna, as this opens up, this will help pull the color throughout so you can go from element to element. And I want some quiet pieces in here. I have just 2 pieces of Queen Anne's lace. I want I like to balance some of that color off, so it's not all the same. And some more in here. And this is a fairly deep container, so I have, I cut some hellebore so we could just fill in. And it's a light color, it's that limey green, so it will pull your eye all the way through the arrangement and give it some depth in the back. As well as cover the mechanics. I'm obsessed with all the different spring tones of greens. I just think it lets us know that we are now in springtime. And I think I might use some of these, I burn them back here too, to just whisper of color. Again, it mimics the other colors that are vertically, and so it draws your eye to the back of the all the way through the arrangement. Depth is critical in arrangements of all sorts. And getting the exact right placement on the lily is critical for this, because you definitely want to have your spacing here and here. So you have to be very careful of the scale of your plant material. As I said, the lily and these mums are a little overscaled for the width that I'm dealing with. So bringing this one lower helps give you motion through the arrangement, and allows this to be lower and to take up more space towards the bottom. So I think we're done with that. I find parallel arrangements to be relatively easy to do and try. It's a great arrangement to work on if you're not all that confident. But again, make sure you have the scale of your plant materials are good for what you're trying to do in here. And if you've got one that's bigger, drop it down. Or you could, in the picture I showed you, you could go stepping stones, or you can have them all the same height. It's your choice depending on what your plant material is and what your design vision is. So good luck, and we'll see you next time.